here's the name of this writer that cut through. That was interesting to me because, like, in older generations, everybody was listening to the same radio shows,
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's what I'm based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence.
Then came an entirely different angle, the creative clash narrative. It's essential, of course, to note that these developments didn't pop up in a vacuum. Blake Lively has a well-documented history of building profound connections on set. She famously dated Penn Badgley when they both starred in Gossip Girl, melding an on-screen romance with a real-life relationship that captivated fans for a stretch of time. Later, she met Ryan Reynolds while shooting Green Lantern. Though both claimed to be just friends at first, rumors suggest their bond was strong enough to overlap with Reynolds' existing marriage to Scarlett Johansson. That marriage eventually ended in divorce, and Blake and Ryan became one of Hollywood's most admired power couples. To add even more smoke to the fire, there were speculations about a potential emotional entanglement with Ben Affleck during the filming of The Town. Though never publicly confirmed, whispers hinted at a certain closeness that made some observers do a double take. Whether or not these rumors held any...
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
Real weight, the pattern emerged. Blake frequently forges deep relationships with co-stars, sometimes leading to off-screen romance, or at least intense closeness. Given that background, many who knew of her previous on-set connections began reading meaning into every small interaction between Blake and Justin. It didn't help that from the outside there were some eyebrow-raising clues. For instance, Blake's social media comment praising Justin's workout post aligned suspiciously with when they'd first started the shoot, right around the time Blake had recently given birth. Some took that as harmless banter, while others saw it as a playful flirtation. Either way, fans picked up the breadcrumb. If she's publicly complimenting his physique so emphatically, could there be more going on behind the scenes? Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni is no stranger to portraying romance. Many fans know him best from his role as Raphael on Jane the Virgin, where he established a reputation for playing emotionally driven, often romantic leads. Viewers fell in love with his ability to portray layered, deeply affected characters, a skill sharpened by his method acting approach. If he was immersing himself deeply into
that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of two people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious. Right. Either you got the job or there's something wrong. Yeah, no. And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I'm sorry that has happened to you before. And I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know, I hope it'll be healing in some way. Because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial just like you and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's gonna be special, and you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm gonna stop rambling, because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
Miles' emotional complexities, that realism could blur lines for a co-star who invests her personal emotions into a role. For gossip-hungry audiences, the notion of a newly postpartum star rediscovering her romantic spark with a co-star at the exact moment she's expected to depict intense on-screen chemistry was almost too dramatic to resist. Matters escalated further when contradictory stories emerged about the handling of intimate scenes. Blake was initially said to have insisted on hiring an intimacy coordinator, emphasizing comfort and privacy. Yet rumors surfaced that she effectively fulfilled that coordinator role herself. That alone seemed contradictory. Why request such a specialist if you plan to do the job on your own? The confusion grew once Justin remarked that Blake hadn't shown initial interest in meeting the official intimacy coordinator. Could she have changed her mind? Did she feel that, by taking the reins herself, she could better control the...
It's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have two other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But we're thinking of keeping her.
Does she like play with her? What does she think?
Well, she sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her, and she's like very maternal, and then our middle daughter is just like just keeps away from her.
And find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good, and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together, although that sounds terrible. I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean,
dynamic of those steamy scenes? Blake also found herself in heated disputes regarding script rewrites, specifically concerning the love scenes. Some accounts claim she accused Justin of pushing for lengthier, more passionate takes, while others argue she was the one orchestrating them to create the kind of scorching chemistry that might hint at real-life tension. The rumor mill ran wild with theories that she'd meticulously choreograph how every kiss and embrace should unfold, leaving Justin little choice but to follow her lead. In many film productions, collaboration on love scenes isn't unusual, but in this context, it fed the narrative that something more than professional synergy was at play. All these incidents came to a head with an alleged altercation involving Blake's trailer. According to her version, Justin barged in unannounced while she was in a vulnerable moment, breastfeeding. This cast him in a negative light, painting him as intrusive. But text messages leaked online told a different story.
Honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. That's what I'm grateful for.
And you had a key part in bringing it to the big screen. How did this all come to be?
we met, and I think it does come from the both of us being hardworking and having a vision and not...
They suggested Blake had actually invited him in to go over lines, and that he let her know he'd be right there after finishing his meal. How does such a misunderstanding occur unless there are deeper emotions or resentments at stake? That was when a startling rumor took center stage. Maybe Blake did harbor genuine feelings for Justin, only to find them unreciprocated. From that angle, her complaints about him overstepping or elongating intimate scenes could be a defense mechanism, a way to flip the narrative if she sensed he wasn't responding. It's all speculation, of course, but it fit neatly into the tabloid storyline of a spurned star maneuvering to protect her public image. In essence, if Justin wasn't going to mirror those affections, why not portray him as the one at fault, pushing boundaries she never asked for? To complicate matters, some turned their attention to Ryan Reynolds. Widely known as supportive of Blake's career, he's also rumored to have a jealous streak. Fans have dissected his playful jabs at other male actors who show interest in or even compliment Blake in any context. Could the normal stresses of having a new baby, combined with an intense film shoot, have...
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But that I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank.
Caused friction between Blake and Ryan? Some say yes. Others suggest that if Ryan did notice anything amiss, he might have given a subtle warning to Justin. Hence the speculation that Ryan confronted him over weight-related comments or that infamous breastfeeding incident. But it's critical to remember that Justin Baldoni isn't just some wide-eyed newcomer. He's a seasoned professional, celebrated for his philanthropic efforts and ongoing campaigns about mental health and healthy masculinity. If the rumor that he rebuffed Blake's alleged advances is true, we have to wonder whether he simply stuck to professional boundaries out of respect for her marriage and family. Possibly he sensed the potential pitfalls of indulging in anything that could be misconstrued, so he remained a consummate colleague. In that scenario, we're looking at a man whose moral code kept him from sliding into a complicated web of intimacy, even if his method acting made him an object of fascination. Regardless, the swirl of gossip took on a life of its own, overshadowing the film's original promise. Some watchers noted that it ends with us deals with heavy themes of domestic violence and emotional trauma, ironically pointing to the backstage drama as a real-life echo of the novel's intensity. Fans who had eagerly awaited a faithful adaptation started fretting that the final cut would be overshadowed, or possibly derailed, by these personal entanglements. Was the project even salvageable, or would it collapse under the weight of endless speculation?
Even if new revelations surface, the odds of anyone untangling fact from fiction are slim. So the swirl of did they or didn't they remains part of the film's lore. Fans of the novel and the actors alike are left to interpret fleeting gestures, second-hand accounts, and carefully curated interviews. It's the perfect Hollywood puzzle, open-ended enough that multiple viewpoints can coexist without definitively canceling one another out. As it stands, it ends with us will either arrive as a film overshadowed by its own rumor-laden backstory or surprise everyone with an on-screen rapport untainted by personal drama. In either case, the Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni saga has already solidified its place in pop culture discussions, highlighting the potent mix of star power, romantic speculation, and digital age gossip. The final verdict may never be known, but in the realm of celebrity fascination, that mystery only adds to its allure. After all, nothing captivates the public quite like a story they can finish in their own imagination.
At the heart of it all is Blake Lively, a star who publicly claims to love romance in all its forms. She's spoken in interviews about cherishing those electric first sparks, both on screen and off. Yet when you have 4 children, a high-profile marriage, and a history of forming tight bonds with co-stars, it's easy for onlookers to assume that stepping into a highly intimate role shortly after giving birth might stir emotions she hadn't fully anticipated. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni stands as the thoughtful, method-oriented actor who might well have been nothing more than a dedicated collaborator on set. The fact that the narrative could so easily flip. One day he's rumored to be crossing boundaries, the next day he's labeled as politely rejecting Blake, speaks to how little concrete information is available. That vacuum of facts is precisely what tabloids thrive on. As fans try to piece together the puzzle from leaked texts and half-baked insider accounts, they inevitably fill in the gaps with their own imaginations.